President Marcos is back from Washington, but his new trade deal with U.S. President Donald Trump is sparking concerns across the business sector. A modest tariff concession was reached, and some industry leaders worry it falls short and could do more harm than good. Jin Kim has this story.
With President Marcos home from his high-stakes bilateral meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump and the biggest trade concession he secured being a mere 1% reduction in tariffs, the business community is sounding alarm.
We have heard our exporters crying already in the news this entire week on this tariff reduction. The export industry remains very, very depressed. I cannot see a significant increase in our export because of this.
We export around 15% of our total produced export goods to the US, but they only import around 0.4% from the Philippines as a share of their total imports. Therefore, they do have the upper hand when it comes to these trade negotiations.
PCCI Trade Vice President Brian Ang hopes semiconductors, the Philippines' top export, will remain exempt from the Trump administration's reciprocal tariffs, citing existing World Trade Organization rules that typically keep semiconductors under a zero-tariff framework. But until clarity emerges, sentiment across the export sector remains grim.
I did not want to see such a one-sided negotiation where we welcomed all the American companies with open arms and gave them first refusal to all of our best and most coveted resources. We even gave them this Subic, the first refusal to put up liquid LNG plants in Subic. On the other hand, we did not get anything in return of this nature naman in America.
Yes.
We also gave them, if you remember, on the first trip of Secretary Go and Secretary Roque, we gave them a blanket exception from this container pre-border inspection of all American containers. And they were the only country and economy that enjoyed this.
The number one tariff is a form of taxation. It is being imposed by a country to protect its local industries or your domestic companies. But at the same time, it's also a way to control the trade. In this case, it's actually the trade war between U.S. and China, but U.S. is using it as a leverage against all other countries.
Ang added that a 1% cut is nowhere near enough to improve investor confidence or attract new foreign capital.
I cannot see an increase in investor confidence. I do not see an increase in manufacturing as well.
Business leaders are now urging the government to continue negotiations, not just on tariffs, but on broader trade and investment terms.
Right now, it's a wake-up call that we cannot just rely on the U.S. while it is a huge market for our exporters, because we'll never know. Maybe next month it will be higher again. The rates would not matter much, or even taxes in general, if the business or investment climate is very friendly, or the cost of doing business can be reduced.
If we can diversify our export destinations, our customers, then we won't only have to please the US, and we may have other options and other destinations to sell our exports.
Amid growing criticism, Malacanang defended the outcome. Philippine ambassador to the US, Jose Manuel Romualdez, called it an evolving good deal for both sides. Jin Kim, Billionaire News Channel.